Hi, welcome back. Today we'll be talking on how you can increase your IELTS score, right? Yeah, this is very important as I know many people actually write this and then they tend to, score low in some areas, maybe listening, reading, writing, or speaking. So it's either maybe one side, of this band is always bringing your scores down, or maybe generally everything. I'm going to be sharing some tips on how you can actually increase it. This is what I personally used myself, and I wrote the exam and I passed it. Right now, not now. I know so many people will have to write it so many times, but don't be in a hurry to keep writing and writing. You have to prepare yourself. Okay, you have to understand their methods on how these people actually set these questions. So I'll just say for IELTS, we have the listening, we have the reading, we have the speaking, and we have the writing. Same thing for the Celpip, okay? And same thing for the French testing skill as well, which is the TEF, right? That's the TEF, right? I can't speak French, so I don't really know how to pronounce those terms, right? So now, what are the tips? Firstly, you should be bold. You should be confident in yourself. Be prepared before going for your exam. Make sure you've eaten so you can have enough oxygen to go right into your brain to get it, prepared to work. And make use of very good vocabulary. And when you're speaking, and then and even when you're writing, it's very important. And then pay attention. You have to listen very well. Pay attention is very important, especially for the listening. Okay, and then for the reading, you have to read very well to understand what the author, or what the story is actually about. Okay, before you can actually, start answering your question. So let's take it one after the other. So for me, for the listening, I would say before you start, there's always a little time they give to you before you start the part one. Try to read the question. You're ready, you're mentally alert and everything, but try to read the question. For me, what I did was, towards each of the gaps, I tried to see the last part of the question. So when the person is talking, I was able to, oh, this is the last part. So once it gets to the part, then But the moment I omit a question, I don't go back to you, because that's going to slow you down. Then you miss out on other answers as well. So my advice will be, read it as fast as possible before the tape starts reading, or before the person starts speaking on the tape. It's very important. That will go a long way, because that way you already have an idea of what the story is all about. Yeah. And then pay attention. If you've missed anything, please do not dwell on that. Just proceed, just follow the story like that. You have to be mentally alert for the listening. It's very, very, very important. Okay, at again, that is for listening. And then for the speaking, you have to be confident in yourself. Speaking has part one and two, and basically the part one is more about, personal experiences, so I mean, everybody's able to talk about that, but let know kind of words to use when you're talking is very important. Make sure your English is well composed. Just before you say anything, think about it in your head before you bring it out. Okay, and make sure and anyway, personal experience is not something difficult. Everybody would most likely know what to say, maybe like family, and everything. So just pick something you can relate to. And then the part two of the speaking is more similar to the essay, in writing. That's part two. They're similar things. So I would say here, try and get a scenario out of the question they will be asking you, and relate it to it. Okay, it's just like you going for an interview and they're giving you a behavioral question. How are you going to answer it? If you're going to be using the star analysis, that's the situation, the task, the action, and the result. So try and see it in that aspect. If they give you any question, and so use that star and then try to develop a story around it, and then state the situation again, like I said. state the task, state the action, and state the result at the end of it. That's going to make the person rate you. You know, that means you've given a very good input about what you've been asked. You know, it may be a story, you know, it may be your opinion, you know, on anything. So yes, relate it to that, you know, give an example. So for the writing aspect, the writing is the same thing. It has a part one, it has a part two. Most of us actually, you know, wrote letters back in our secondary schools, you know, our high school, you know. So this is just very simple, you know, addressing it. It could be informal, it could be formal. So you know how you address a letter, you know. So if you have forgotten about that, I'll say you should go back to the drawing board and, you know, just try and read about it and see how you can draft, you know. So here in the writing, vocabulary is very important. Your period, your commas, you know, where to dot and where to bracket, and all this is very, very, very important here, because the markers, you know, they are not the invigilators. The markers will look out for this, and then your use of English, your vocabulary is important in this aspect. So please and please be very careful of the choice of words when you're writing, and also make sure it's relatable to, you know, whatever letter you're writing. Make sure it makes, you know, good meaning to whoever is reading and marking it. It's very easy addressing letter, you know. We all know what to do, you know, the address, dear sir, dear ma, or whoever it is. So it's not that difficult for the tax, for the first tax. Then under the writing for the, you know, you could also, the tax two, you could also use the star situation here, you know, whereby they give you an example of, oh, would you, which one would you prefer, you know, how would you describe the transport system, you know, which is better, is it by bus or by train or something like that. So you have to pick one and then address it, write an essay about it and why you think it is good, you know, the transport system, you know, just give scenarios, explain, you know, then bring in the start situation again here. You know, there should be a situation, there should be a task, there should be an action, I'm stating it, and then what is the result at the end. This is very important. So you agree with me that, you know, the writing, the part two essay, I know it's most times difficult, but you know, these are the techniques that I used and it worked for me. So you should also consider using them. Okay, make it relatable, give a scenario, give an example, and tell them how you're able to walk through it, the situation, and how you're able to resolve the issue, right? And why you feel that is better option than the other, you know. And then for the reading, yes, most people actually find it very difficult. Yes, because I mean, coming from where I'm coming from, the way we do our paragraphs, our reading is so totally different from what I've learned here, or even while I was writing my own exam, you know. So so I know it may be very difficult. Here you need to really think fast and think deep, and you have to really understand, put yourself in that position of the author who is writing that paragraph, or that that they want you to actually answer. So you read it and understand what the author is talking about. It's very important. You will not get the words, you know, and the answer straightforward like that. You have to think outside the box. Like, you really have to think outside the box, and most times it's always about Asians and everything like that. So yes, you have to be calm, understand the passage, and read it first. Read it as fast as you can, and then go back to the questions. And then while you're reading, you can be circling. In fact, what I did was I read the questions first, then I read the passage. Then while I was reading the passage, I was, you know, highlighting, and then from there I was able to get the answers, you know, and everything. Yeah, so that's it about reading. I'm very sure if you use all this, you would definitely increase your IELTS score. I know it's quite difficult to get the CLB, the Canadian Language Benchmark 7, you know, not to talk of the, you know, CLB 9 or 10, you know. But honestly, if you do all this, I believe you would actually, you know, increase your score, really. And another interesting thing now is that if you are bilingual, that is fantastic. Why don't you just do the highlight or Celpip, whichever one, for the English, and then try and do the TEF as well for the French, so you can add additional point to your scores. You know, additional points you could actually get when you do the French exam. So that will actually boost you up. You could get up to 30 points actually. The Canadian system, how it is marked, you know, they see it from the basic, you know, to the intermediate, to the advanced. So you want to be in between, you know, at least no, don't even be in between the intermediate. Actually, try to aim for, the advanced level. That way, they know, oh, this person is actually advanced expert in English and everything. So English is not all about, talking. When you're going for that exam, you have to be mentally prepared. So be fast about it, be confident, you know what you're saying, relate it to situations, and yeah, I think you'll be fine. That's that's just about it. This is what I did, and I passed. So I think if I can do that, I believe everyone out there. So don't give up, keep pushing. Practice, practice, practice. There are sites where you can actually practice. I'm going to list some down for you. You can go there and do free online practices on your speaking, on your listening, on your writing, and on your reading. So keep it up, okay? You will get there. You will increase the score, and you will come back and to my comment section to tell me how it went, okay? So yes, that's it for today. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for listening. I hope these skills would boost your scores. And then yeah, that's it. Thank you.